Hello y'all, welcome back to another video. Salutations. How's everybody doing this weekend? It's Saturday now, but by the time I probably end up posting this, it probably will be Sunday or Monday morning. And I know I've been pretty much kind of, I wouldn't say lackadaisical, but like not been really consistent because again, I'm working and this job will drain you. But anyway, enough of all that because nobody wants to hear all about that. I want to come and talk about, as the title was suggested, it will be in my video. Title of the video is some of the, well, I'm going to call it covert or inconspicuous ways, but so maybe ways of how women are male-centered that you might not even know. Now, the reason why I wanted to make this video is because I was watching a content creator, and I'm not gonna name their names. It's really, and it really isn't someone I would watch on a consistent basis because she's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But she was talking about in one of her rants how she would never put her child's father on child support because, long story short, she doesn't want to be known as the bitter baby mama. She doesn't want to be known as somebody who just wants to drag them down, wants to try to drag the man down. And I've heard this rhetoric before, not only from, like I said, not only from this content creator, but I've also heard it from the cousin, which I've mentioned in my prior videos, the one who has the autistic son. She would say the same shit to me when she used to stay at a prior place we used to live back in 2020. She would always say, well, I don't want to put this man on child support. I don't want to be a bitter baby mama. I want him to, to come correct for my son and, sit up there hounding him for money. It's not going to do anything. All it's going to do is push him away. Meanwhile, the bitch was living with me and she was getting $400 a month, maybe here or there when her baby daddy felt like it, on a good fucking mood. Right? Whenever he was in a good mood. It was never consistent. And she would constantly always be struggling. Him and her, her and her son would always be struggling. They barely have any money to make it to the end of the month. And I'm just like, why are you sitting up there and trying to give him grace when he won't even give you any grace? He won't even consistently send financial support or physical or emotional support to your fucking son, which he needs it most because he's autistic. But instead, it's, no, I'm going to try to do it on my own, and I lay down and had this child, and so I have to take accountability for my actions, which, yes, you do. But you don't have sperm. He doesn't have eggs. So why the fuck does he get to absolve or advocate from his fucking responsibilities as a father? And I've seen many women say this. This is pick-me behavior. And the reason why I say it is pretty fucking obvious. When you sit up there and place the onus of raising the child on you, and instead of him, then you're letting him get away scot-free. You're saying to him that he doesn't even have to take one iota of responsibility to make sure that the welfare of his child is taken care of. And do you think the fucking courts care if you are being a quote-unquote bitter baby mama or not? No. The courts are going to look at what is best for the child, and if they think the child benefits from your baby daddy paying child support, then guess what? he's going to be paying child support no matter if he likes it or not. And I know, coming from experience, I've had both of my mother, because who's a pick-me, which you already know, and my child's father's mother, who, same story, also a major pick-me. And they both had the same attitude when it came down to child support, that you shouldn't be going to the courts asking him to take care of his son. You should just suck it up and just suck it up and then just continue to suffer as a single parent. And I'm like, no, I did not create these kids on my own. I need financial help. So I'm going to get financial help. And we don't want to go on public assistance. And a lot of the jobs that I had, when I'll be working 2 or 3 jobs, hell, you can't even get public assistance. So why not get child support? And I just seen so many women complain or say that, and they try to make themselves look like a fucking martyr or try to be noble. It's not noble. You're not trying to stop cosplaying as a fucking martyr. You're hurting your children. You're hurting your children by doing this. You think kids care about that? They don't care about that. They want to know if they're going to have clean clothes, nice clothes, food in their belly, lights on, water to take a bath with, toilet paper to wipe their asses with. They don't give a fuck about sitting up there and, oh, I'm going to do it all by myself because I'm a single mom and I'm the one who made those choices, so I have to bear the cross and all this. Just shut the fuck up. Women who say shit like that, I just side-eye them. And I'm like, yeah, you let your baby daddy and any other man walk all over you. Because the fact of the matter, you're not even holding his feet to the fire, which you should. So that's number one. And I don't know, I'm pretty sure, I would think my audience, my target audience, would know that, but for the people who may come across this video just by happenstance, this is how I feel about that subject. I feel that you are harming the child by trying to cosplay as a martyr, trying to pretend that all the responsibility falls on you, when, again, reiterating, you don't have fucking sperm, he does not have eggs. You need both to make a damn baby. And women who say stuff like that are very male-centered and don't care that they would cause their children harm just to make themselves look good in the eyes of men. And guess what? They're going to still talk about you being a fucking bitter baby mom anyway. So what is it all for? So that's that. The second thing I want to talk about is when a woman, well, I always think this is my personal experience. So, but I think this is probably pertains to maybe many other women, because I like, the old saying, nothing is new under the sun. So I recall back maybe about 2 years ago, this is about 2024. And I remember I have a male friend that I used to work with. And I remember that his position that he was in, it made at least, I would say approximately $31 an hour. And he's been in sales for a very long time, but then, so have I. So everybody kept telling me, because I was a contractor at the time, so with this particular company that worked in the stores that I was in. And so I built a very good rapport for the 3 years that I was a contractor in that store. And people were like, if you want more money, come work for us. And I said, cool. I want to do the job that my friend has, but starting off, because I know I wasn't going to just get that, that kind of salary right away, but starting off, I was like, okay, 31, subtract 31 from 4, so 30, 29, 28, 27, so start off at 27 an hour. And I thought that was great. I thought it was a good idea. My male friend thought it was a good idea, and the store manager was like, cool, because like I said, reiterating, I built a rapport with these people. So I knew I was going to get their approval. However, the way their system works is anytime there's hiring, it can go through different managers and the store manager, but it's up to their corporate office to hire. So I had to wait for corporate to make their decision. Corporate came back and rejected it and said, no, we want you, but we don't want you for that position. We want you to start off in a lower position, and we want you to start off at the time they wanted me to start off at 21, but this 21 an hour. And I refused because the fact of the matter that the contractor position that I was in, okay, as a contractor, was, when I started off, was 21 an hour. So it would just make me have to go back to what I was, back down to where I started. So I was like, no, I politely rejected it. And I remember I was telling my male friend this, and we had a good laugh, a good kiki over it. And he was like, oh, you were trying to take my job, and da-da-da-da. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to take your job. We're just, having fun. It wasn't that serious. So, I was at my parents' house. My girls, they were on the patio deck. They exited the patio deck because we were all laughing about the story. We thought it was pretty funny. Although I was, a little bit, not really mad, but a little bit irritated that the fact of the matter, I didn't get the position that I wanted, or the rate, or the money that I wanted, but hey, it's fine. Here comes my mother. She sits down in front of me and on the table, and she said, I overheard y'all conversation. And I said, okay. I started getting on my phone, texting my friend from California. And she goes, one thing, Allie, you need to realize, you can never best a man at his job. I said, I looked down and I put my iPhones down on the table, and I said, excuse me? What do you mean by besting? She goes, it's unladylike for you to go and try to compete with a man for the same position that he has. That's why you got rejected. And you need to learn not to come off as I would say rah-rah, but basically come off as a competitor. You need to come off more softer. And I'm like, what the fuck does being soft have anything to do with getting a position? The man actually encouraged me. When I told him, I said, hey, I want to apply for this. This was not taking his position. They needed more people. He was only one out of 4 positions that they need to fill. So if he was already there, that means it was 4 positions. That means they need to fill 3 more positions. So what the fuck does that have to being feminine and being soft has anything to do with getting that position? And I told her that. She was all, but you embarrassed him. Secretly, you embarrassed him because he thinks that you were going to take his job, which when I talked to him the following week that I had to work, and he said, no, that wasn't even the case. And what the fuck was my mother talking about? And, just going on and on and on, talking about how I should never compete with a man for a position. It makes you look masculine. It doesn't make you look feminine at all. It makes you look bad. And then exercising schadenfreude about me not getting that position. And I just looked and grabbed my phones and I put them in my purse, and I looked at her, I said, you know why we don't have a good relationship? And she goes, no, why? I said, because the fact of the matter, you're so damn male-centered that no woman with any common sense wants to be around you. This is why I will never apologize to you when I told you months prior you were an enemy to black women and girls. You are the arch nemesis to black women and girls. Because what cockamamie bullshit is that telling me that I am trying to best a man out of his fucking position when there is 3 positions that had to be filled, it wasn't just only him. There was 4 positions. He was already in that position. They need 3 more motherfucking people. This is why we will never get along. And I remember I slammed the screen door, and she tried to follow me through the kitchen when I was talking to the girls, and I said, girls, we need to go. And she was like, you don't walk away from me and talk when I'm talking to you, that. And I'm like, I'm not a child. You can't tell me what to do. So I told my dad, I was like, we're getting ready to go. I'll see y'all when I see. I just sat there and I remember that, and I've seen other pick-me women and men from the with incel manosphere bullshit. I've seen them say the same thing. It's like, no, this is not trying to compete. And even if they were, isn't the job market competitive? What the fuck? You're supposed to. May the best candidate win. That's how it works. So I just had to bring that up. And this is one of the reasons why I don't get along with male-centered women. Because everything, even down to the air they breathe, they think that a man controls. And that's a sad fucking existence. Anyway, so that's all I have to say for right now. Thank you for watching the video. I greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. As I said before, I'm hoping to at least get up to 50 subscribers before my birthday, or before my daughter's birthday in the middle of August. I know I've been very repetitive about this, but it's just when I can do that, I can bring out more content, and I can talk a little bit more about some of these topics that maybe you want to hear, and that what grinds my fucking gears. But again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.